We're on.
We are back.
Number 58.
58 is great. We're the Wildflowers. I'm Judy.
I'm Carol.
I'm Peggy.
I'm the poet of the group.
Yes. She sent a poem this morning, didn't you? Yeah.
Oh, welcome back. Welcome back, ladies.
Yes.
Well, welcome back to you, too.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very cool. So, I remember you saying something about words.
Oh, yes.
And I know Peggy has some, too. And I have one.
Okay, well, I have more than, but I'm not going to go through it. But this is two podcasts, or three maybe. We talked about how when we read,
Right.
you challenged us to pay attention to the words that we read. And so I did. I'm reading a book. It's a nonfiction book, and I love it. But it's already, I'm only 100 pages in now, and I've got so many words that I didn't know, or words that I thought I knew, but when you really ask yourself,
I know,
do
so
I
what
know
does
what
it
this
mean?
means?
I'm always looking up words.
Yes.
I said, well, I know that it's a word. Do I know
Do
what
I
it
know?
means?
For example, here's thank you do sometimes.
I know.
And, yeah.
Anathema.
Oh, yeah, that's going back to something else. That's an anathema. It's an
It
anathema.
means
Yeah, it's
something you or someone that you vehemently dislike.
What?
Oh, you're thinking of, there's another word that means
See?
going back in time, like it's something from the past.
Yeah.
Are you
See?
sure that's no other?
Anathema, something or
Yeah.
someone that one like racial hatred was anathema
Oh,
to
okay.
her.
All right. Oh, okay. Yes. All right.
Yes, and
All
so
right.
I didn't know that. And then that weekend that I was reading that, I was reading Modern Prayer, Melissa Gilbert's blog,
Right.
and she actually used that word in her blog. I was like, oh, I just looked that word up. I was like, so
What?
there's tithe.
Tithe? Well,
Yeah,
you
that's
get
a tax or a tariff.
10%.
10%. Very
Yeah.
well done.
Well, I was in the church for many years. We had to tithe.
Okay, how
We give
about
10%?
counterpane?
Oh, that's a window.
No.
The counterpane is something in reverse. Feeling better.
It is a bedspread.
Oh, okay. I did know that from reading
I
all those
didn't know that.
1800 novels.
But you know what's crazy?
I know.
These are words that we probably did know at
Yeah.
one point,
Uh-huh.
and then you forget.
How
Then your
about
brain gets old.
adroitness?
Oh, that means to be quick.
Yeah. Well,
Flexible,
Cleverness means
adroit,
cleverness
Right.
or skill.
Yeah.
right.
So
right.
he
Yeah,
lacks
he's adroit.
political adroitness.
Right.
He
Yeah.
lacks that.
Or you could be adroit at something.
Right.
So.
Anyway, so there's more there, but I just was like, that was a good challenge, and I'm saving.
Okay. Well, I have two words.
Okay, and then I have one.
Okay. One of them is fub.
Oh, don't you flub this up now.
Like
Peggy.
F-U-B or P?
PHUB. Fub.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that funny?
Don't know that
Isn't that funny?
It's fubby. It's fubby.
What is it?
All right. You're in a social situation and you're avoiding people or a social situation and you start messing around with your electronic device.
Oh,
So it's a newer word.
Yeah, to ignore a person or one's surroundings when in a social situation by busying oneself with a phone or other mobile device.
Now, where did you
It's a
find that word?
fub. Snub.
PHUB. Where did you?
That was on dictionary.com.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's a new
So
one.
it's like a play on snub. It's
Right.
kind of like you, but you're fubbing
Your
them
phone
with your
is
phone.
Phone. is a
Right,
phone.
right.
Okay.
And then I had another one too, which I was curious when I saw it. I said, oh,
Yes.
because when we're at it's semaphore.
Semaphore. That's the ding, 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 ding. Like it's for.
Railroad?
Yeah, like
The where the
yeah. It's
signal?
a signal. It can be like that.
Well, maybe it could be like that, but it's I recognize it, and the definition is a system of signaling
Right.
with arms and flags. Like
Right.
we always watch the lifeguards do it on the
right.
beach. That's called a semaphore. Yeah.
Oh, I
Interesting.
didn't know that.
What's your word?
My word, if I'm going to pronounce it correctly, it's palimpsest.
Palimpsest.
Palimpsest. Well, I did it.
Palimpsest.
Palimpsest.
Oh, okay. Palimpsest.
And I got this from The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, and I read that book, but I didn't write that word down. Palimpsest.
And I had to actually look it up more than 2 or 3 times because like, wait, what was it now?
Oh, I do that all the time. I said,
Yeah.
what was that word?
Yeah, what did
That's
that
why I saved the definition,
Yeah.
and I have
That
a
was good.
folder now called words in my
Oh,
picture
okay.
so that I keep it.
I I have like a shitload of these.
Well, when I was buy you index cards.
I have index cards, but I always have scrap paper on my kitchen table, so I can write notes and stuff. Palimpsest.
Well, when I went to college and the professor had us read the New Yorker magazine.
I love that magazine.
I loved it too, and we had to find the words, and I have a whole booklet of words that I would love to find it now, see what I would remember.
That notebook would be very palimpsest.
No. Well.
Is it voluminous?
No. Something reused or altered, but still bearing visible traces of it from an earlier form. So that fits with The Handmaid's Tale, because they were talking about, I think, some of the things that they were writing, they got rid of the original and they made it so that, Gilead...
So it fit what their idea of it was.
Yeah, so Atwood uses the word in reference to the society over which Gilead has superimposed itself.
Huh.
So I don't know that we would ever have to use that word.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the words. But fubbing, I said I could use fubbing.
Would that apply to something like that? For example, like if you have a piece of furniture and you convert it to something else, and it, and it has a different form.
Yeah, you know what? Probably.
That's what
Actually,
I first thought of.
You know what? When you say that, when you see the definition, I think
Something
that could
reused
or altered.
or altered, but still bearing visible traces. Yeah,
Of
I
its
guess
earlier
so.
form,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what I thought
So,
of.
yeah, we love words here.
Here I have a humidor. It's very old.
Okay.
And I, of course, don't use it as a humidor because I don't smoke cigars.
Right.
And I use it as a little table, and I have a plant on it,
Yeah.
and it opens up, so I keep candles and incense in there.
But you can
and
still, it retains
Yeah.
some of its original.
so that's a
Hiding.
palimpsest.
Yes.
Oh, all of these hiding wines are killing me. I hope this one is.
Yes, I know you're. She didn't love our last one.
Yes.
I liked it. I thought
I
it was
did
good.
too.
I know,
So,
it's just
so it was a Long Island wine, and we.
I think she was just jealous because Carol knew all about it.
I didn't know that. I was honest.
Carol tasted the violets.
That was just so funny.
Tasting the violets. Carol's full of shit.
I am. See, this is a little
This
dark.
is darker, yeah.
Oh yeah, that is darker.
Oops, I'm
You
sorry.
have to use a sock. It's much nicer than that ugly. Oh, stop it.
I know. You might not want
Okay,
me
so
to see.
I can see the legs right away, so that's a good
Okay,
sign.
that's good.
Well, the other one had legs. You even said,
I
"Oh,
did.
it's got
It did have a
legs."
good, and that's why I was optimistic with it. I wanted to like that other wine. I just didn't.
Okay, let's
Alright.
smell. I gotta remember what my notes were. Oh, okay.
Very fruity.
I didn't have. That was one of the things. Very good.
Doesn't smell. The aroma isn't as strong as the Cabernet Franc.
You know, I was so focused on getting those details right. I don't know if I was really paying attention.
Well, there's some left, so you can smell it after we leave.
I'm not gonna only smell it, Peggy.
If you only smell it, it doesn't go to your head, and it has
smell
no
a lot of
calories.
it.
That's a waste.
It's already making me a little
Okay.
flush.
I'm having trouble smelling anything in this.
I
I'm
smell the
having
fruit. Strong.
I don't smell it
I do.
a little bit. I don't think it has a very nice aroma.
I think you're kind of right. You're kind of right.
Oh gosh, are you kidding?
There's no aroma.
I smell it.
No, honestly, I'm not.
Are you
we're
kidding
not.
me?
No,
I
I'm
can't
not.
smell anything.
I smell a
and
lot
I
of
have a good
fruit.
smell.
To the point where I'm getting a bit flushed. And remember, I
Wow,
get flushed
you
if
get
there's a bit
flushed? Wow.
citrusy. So
Wow.
I'm there might
No,
be
I don't
citrus.
smell it.
All right,
No.
so
Okay.
before we taste, we gotta toast. Taste,
Oh,
toast.
taste and
Okay.
toast. Toast and taste.
Taste. What can we
Toast and
taste?
taste.
Let's see, we did Thanksgiving, and then we could do.
Well, the day after Thanksgiving, National Heritage.
I never even heard of National
Well, now you
Heritage
have.
Day. So what do you do? I mean, what's
No,
the
no,
history
that-
of it?
The Indians.
Yeah, she
Well,
talked about
okay.
that last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, what about it? What about the Indians? It's
That it marks the time when the
commemorate-
beginning of their, basically the downfall, when the European
we
settlers
commemorate
came over.
them that they are the true Americans. But all right, so we will. All right, so maybe by the time this airs, we'll know whether or not we.
shut down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't want to toast to that.
We could tell.
Oh, let's just drink. Cheers.
Oh, yeah, let's just get drunk.
Two words.
Two words.
Shalom.
L'chaim. L'chaim.
Shlanta. That's what I wanted to say.
Probst.
Shlanta.
Probst.
Yeah. Okay. Cheers.
Okay.
Well, it's not as thin as the last one.
Well, that's a start.
It's a darker color.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have much taste though. So something wrong with me? I can't smell
Now
it
you
or
sound like
taste it.
Judy with the other one.
No, there's a taste. I taste more than the last one.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
It
that
lingers.
much.
It lingers a bit.
All right. What do you think it is?
What do I think it is? It's not a Cabernet.
Well, I said
It's not a Pinot Noir.
It's a Cabernet
It's
Franc.
She's still bitter over
maybe
that.
it's a Malbec.
Do you want to guess?
It's making me.
Aftertaste.
It's making me flushed.
It is Capital Zinfandel.
Zinfandel.
Oh.
And I've seen this bottle before, but I
Okay.
haven't had it.
Yep. It is.
That's
Is
like
that
an old
citrus in
vine. Old
let's see,
vines.
It's from
Zinfandel.
California, and it's 14.5%.
Yeah, it has a lot of alcohol.
Yeah,
In it.
and you are now entering Lodi, the unofficial and undisputed Zinfandel capital of the world. Keep
Oh
your
Lord, happy Lodi again.
So yeah, we're such good
I'm
singers.
so sorry.
So capital. So
Okay.
yeah, it's got fruit, spices, red and black fruits. I don't know what that meant, and smooth tannins, and it's from California. So, how much do you think this goes for?
I'm gonna say $21.99.
I'm gonna say $13.95.
Did you see it? She saw.
Oh, she saw it.
She saw.
I thought that the red Zinfandels were more expensive.
Yeah, $13.95.
Yeah.
That's about right.
How many wildflowers?
I'm gonna give it 2.5.
I'll give it
Wow.
3.
Wow. Wow. I would give it. Let me take another sip. I only took one.
Yes, I'm not. I like the other one better.
I don't.
Wow.
I like this one better, but I don't.
We're still not. Oh.
It's all right. We gotta hit a home run. I have the pressure on. I'm gonna have to do something really well.
Well, I
next
think I do the next one.
time. No.
I did wine, and now she did one. You do it,
You do
but
it.
the second one of the
Okay.
next one. And I have a wine that I never even heard of before, and it's a red.
Don't tell us anymore.
And I'm not going to tell you anymore, but I almost switched it up, but then we were cheating, and I had already sent her all the
I
information.
had to cram. I had to cram this, yeah.
So I'll do that one the next time.
This is
So are you not going to drink this?
no. I'll drink it. It's okay. It's
Yeah.
but yeah, it is. Look at me. Like, can't you see me sweating a little bit?
No.
No.
Oh, well, I am. Does that happen with the Pintar? But
You don't.
In a,
You don't sweat. You perspire.
I'm cool
Yes.
under pressure.
Well, so there you have it. It was a capital
It was all right.
Zinfandel, and I'm still drinking it, and I'll probably drink it after they leave.
We should probably mix it up a little bit too and do some cocktails again.
You know what? I was thinking of that. I was actually looking for like fall cocktails, and then I said, "Oh my God, they are so complicated.
Yeah,
Too many
yeah.
ingredients."
I know.
And I end up with all this alcohol. Like I had Bailey's in my house and Jameson's, and I don't drink it.
What a
Yeah.
It's just sitting there. I
Yeah.
dust it off.
Yeah.
So-
I'm going to see if I can convince Natasha to do something. for
Yeah, I
us.
know. Yeah, we could do a special bartender
Yeah.
podcast, and she can make us cocktails, and we'll get drunk.
But she,
Yes,
but she, we can't do it on Friday because she works, but we'll
Yeah.
have to play it by ear. But we've said
Yeah.
this in the past. But anyway, so who does the book?
I do the book.
Your
do.
book cover is scaring me.
The book cover is very weird. This was
Yeah.
like one of the weirdest books that I ever read in my life.
I don't even want to look at it.
All right, this is from, I think this was Tor, Akashic book. And it's called A Darker Shade of Noir. And it's new stories of body horror by women writers. And there's 15 stories in here. And out of the 15, I didn't like a lot of them.
Oh, really?
Some of them were very, very disturbing. One was really
I can't-
disturbing. There was some, is it necrophilia? When you
have sex
Yes,
with the dead.
bodies.
yeah, one of them was like in a medical school. And it really, I was really getting upset when I was reading it. And I said, oh my God, why am I reading this book?
Now, are any of the authors you're from? I see Margaret Atwood. But
Margaret Atwood has a very cool story in
Right.
here.
Okay.
And it's actually about a snail who he's crawling along, and all of a sudden his soul swoops out and goes into this woman. And like
Ooh.
how the snail has to adjust to this human life.
Oh, that's
And
pretty
how the
interesting.
woman now is like almost like
sleazy.
no, but she wants to eat like leaves and like it
Oh.
affects her life too.
She is so Margaret Atwood.
So
has-
creative.
Not to take with what you're saying, but when I'm reading The Handmaid's Tale now, and I am just in awe of her
I know. Her
brain.
imagination.
Oh my
I know. I mean, this is a very bizarre story, but it's like so interesting. Like,
Wow.
how did you think
Exactly.
of this?
Exactly.
Very, very interesting story. The other one that I really, really liked, let's see, the one by this one here, Concealed Carry by Lisa Tuttle. And I've never heard of Lisa Tuttle,
No.
but this book, this short story is about abortion bans and also gun control,
Oh
all
wow.
mixed into one little story.
Oh wow.
It's not really, all the stories are pretty short.
What's the title of that story?
That story is called Concealed Carry.
Okay.
So, I
Oh,
can't.
I love the pun of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even tell you. It's like at the end of it, I said, "What?"
You wait when you said what?
It was like I never expected
Oh, I love
the
that.
ending.
But did you appreciate it?
Bizarre.
But
It's totally bizarre. Yes, I did appreciate
Oh, okay.
it. I liked that story.
okay.
Then
what
the-
was Margaret Atwood's story? title?
Margaret Atwood's story. Did I get to it yet? I don't think I got to
Oh,
it
okay.
yet.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
My bad.
Yeah.
I got
Have
it.
patience.
This
girl.
is the weird one. Gross. Is this the one? Gross Anatomy? About the guy?
Ooh, that sounds
Yeah.
like it could be.
Yeah, it was gross. This one, what the heck was this one about? Oh, this one is called Her Heart May Fail Her. It is by Yumi Deneen Shiroma. And it's so short. It's only a couple of pages. That's it. Couple of
Oh,
pages.
wow.
But it is based on the novel Dracula.
Oh,
And is
you would like
I have read
Yeah.
it many times, and it's based on the two characters Lucy and Mina. And so it's a little
Oh, that's
short
interesting.
vampire
Oh, you probably
story.
love that.
I did.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved it very much.
And was it because you said it was so short? Were you hungering for more, or was it? Just
Well, it made
right?
me want to read Dracula again.
Oh,
I have it on my shelf. I said, "Oh, I love that book. I should read it again."
Funny.
So this one of my favorites.
Oh, okay.
Joyce Carol Oates.
Oh, she's wonderful.
It's called The Chair of Tranquility, and it's from the diary of Mrs. Thomas Peel, Trenton, New Jersey, 1853.
Oh, wow.
And it's about her husband committing her because of women's hysteria.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
And-
Peggy, I'm reading a book right now about this topic. That's
Oh, my
funny that you
goodness.
said this.
Wow.
It's a nonfiction book
Oh,
by
okay.
the author of Radium Girls.
Oh.
Oh,
It's
okay.
called The Girl Who Would-
You
the-
loved that
I
book,
love
right?
that.
Who
Yeah.
Would Not Be Silenced is what it's called. And it's about a woman who was, and I'm learning so much about
Yeah.
just this.
Well, just this
Wow.
little tiny short story was like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
What a horrible time to be a woman.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So, and then there was one by Elizabeth Hands, and it also takes place in the 1800s. I love things in the 1800s
I was
for
just
some
gonna say,
reason. I just love those stories,
Yeah.
the Gothic tales,
yeah,
and
creepy. They're
you know,
creepy.
the Seventh Bride of or Female Curiosity.
Curiosity. You're right.
And it's it's about an actress, and it's in this little theater someplace in England, and they're doing this play called The Seventh Bride. And I can't really say too much about it because it would give things away, but one of the actors who plays like the main male role, he is a rapist.
Oh.
So, very, very, very good story, and I didn't expect the end of that one either.
okay.
That's great.
That was one. And then this one here, Nemesis. Which one was Nemesis? I don't remember what it was about. I'm very sorry, but I did forget what this one is about, and I don't want to waste everybody's time.
Where did you get this book from?
I got this, it was an advanced reader's copy
We know
from
the book.
Akashic's books.
We know
And I
the
had
book.
seen it because we get these newsletters, and I saw that they were offering it, and Carol, so I asked Carol to get it for me because I do love, like,
That's right up your alley.
yeah, I like these kind of
Well,
stories.
Johnny Temple is the
Right.
publisher of Akashic Press, and he's been doing amazing.
Oh, okay, I remember Nemesis. Nemesis was also a very good story. And it's about, it also takes place in the 1800s, and it's by Valerie Martin. And I never really heard of any of these authors except for Amy Bender and Joyce Carol Oates, and of course Margaret Atwood. But this is about a family who hosts, their son is coming home from college for the summer, and he brings a friend with him. And the friends, and they have two daughters who are like so besotted with this guy because he's so handsome and charming, but he's like just a narcissist.
Oh.
And how the mother, everybody else is smitten with him, but the mother, who is deformed, she had I think she had a pox or something, and like she's got a droopy mouth, and he's like, he can't even look at her because,
okay.
and like how she's the only one that knows, like, this guy is bad freaking news.
Yeah.
And she gets her revenge on him because he's trying to marry one of her daughters.
Oh,
And then this one here, oh, this was a weird story. I think it took place in South Africa.
oh, okay.
And it had to do with like androids.
Oh, interesting.
It was very weird. I
it
can't
sounds
really
like
say too
Very
much.
eclectic.
Yes, but I wanted to, one of the stories, how come I didn't mention it? One of the good stories, I mean, there were other good stories in it too, but I just, there's 15 authors here. But Amy Bender, this is the one by Amy Bender. And I was attracted to this one because I had read one of her books from 2010. And it was such an interesting story. It was...
Wait, you remember the year that you read?
No. I knew that it was a long time ago. Samantha actually lent me the book. She's the one that recommended it. And it's a very, very strange story. It's called The Particular Sadness of Lemon Cake. And it's about this young girl, a little girl she is, and she finds out that if she, like, her mother baked a lemon cake and she tasted it and she could feel her mother's emotions.
Oh.
And it goes through her
I feel
life.
like I heard about
that's
that.
And it was a very, very good story. And she did this other story that is totally bizarre. Another very imaginative person is about this girl who works in this office, and she's kind of like odd, and like her coworkers don't really like her. But what she does is she found a skin tag on her hip, so she twisted it off. And she started collecting skin tags, and she kept them in a jar. Then she made like a little man out of them, and like she brought it to work. And
You're telling too much of the story.
I have to tell you just this part.
gosh.
So she started leaving it like on the desk of her coworkers when they weren't looking, and the little man was affecting their lives.
That is
I
imaginative.
don't want to read that one.
I was grossed out, but the story is good. It really is. The story is good. I said, oh my God.
Now, so were you eager to keep getting back to the book?
No, it was kind of disturbing, but yes, it was. I'm glad that I read it. I don't know anybody else who would want to read this book.
Don't say that.
No, anybody that I know, they don't read. Like I could read bizarre stuff. It's all bizarre.
Right.
All the stories.
So how many wildflowers would
How
you
many
give?
wildflowers would I give this? I mean, just for the cover alone, I would give like 4 because the cover is amazing.
I don't like the cover.
But it tells you
like
what this book is about.
I know, but
It's about body dysmorphia
yeah.
and the stories that I really liked. So I guess I would do 4.5 wildflowers.
Oh, wow. So that's
If you like weird, gruesome stuff.
and like maybe a little horror, like Stephen King kind of fantasy.
Yeah,
or something
definitely.
like that.
Yeah.
Imaginative.
So,
Very
A
imaginative.
Darker Shade of Noir by it's edited by Joyce Carol Oates.
All right, well,
So-
there you go. Okay, well done.
Yes. Yeah. Woohoo.
That was good.
Awesome. Yeah, and I don't. Yeah, that's that last one you told us about.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nothing
How she
compared to
came up
the
with
other one,
that,
the
I
medical
don't wanna
school.
know.
I know. That
don't
makes
know.
you- So let's move on to the topic.
Oh, okay. That's me. Okay, so kicking off on what you talked about last time, I kind of got me, and what you said before, the topic before that, where we mentioned Native Americans,
Right.
and I kind of made me think. I said, let's talk about the
It
indigenous.
was about Alcatraz, and we were
Alcatraz.
talking. Yeah.
Let's talk about the indigenous people for where we live, Long Island.
Right.
You know,
Long Island. Oh, that's so cool.
I just thought, hey, let me
That's
dig
cool.
into. I've always been interested in this sort of topic in general.
Did you ever go to any of the reservations on Long Island?
No, and that's something I was going to
Me
ask
neither.
you guys.
Yeah, no.
and we should.
Yeah.
Well,
People
they're
go
closed
there
right
to buy
now for
cigarettes,
Well,
you
they're
know.
closed for the season now.
And
Yeah.
casinos.
Right. And one of the well, I'll jump ahead, but
Yeah.
we were taught, at least most people were taught, that Long Island had 13 tribes.
Right.
Right. But in reality, it was more likely these names referred more to a place rather than separate tribes. I think it was more the Anglo-Saxons kind of wanted to categorize them as tribes, probably because it made it easier for them to do land deals.
So you're saying what they were reservations, not tribes?
No, that they were probably they are all probably similar, but the places themselves probably were more definitive, so they probably like, oh, these people are this tribe because they live here, but they probably were not very as defined to an area as the white people probably wanted them to be. Because, for example, if you wanted to buy the land that this house was on, who are you going to deal with? You got to kind of, if it really didn't belong to a certain tribe, who are you going to enter into that treaty with, or that, so there's a big debate from what I stumbled into researching this. And so we were taught in school, I guess, and although I don't remember that, to be honest, I don't remember being taught much about Native. I learned about Iroquois Indians.
Right.
But I didn't really learn about the Long Island Indians. And so, can you name, though, what we've come to know as the third tribe? Can you name any of the tribes you think that would for Long Island?
From Long
Was Lakota?
No.
No, those are out west.
Yeah.
I believe, in
Oh,
Lakota. Okay. I'm just going by names the Secretogs.
Yes.
Okay.
Secretogs, they were pretty well. They ended up being associated with the land from Islip out through Patchogue.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm trying to think what Comswag.
No. They're the Native Americans are indigenous people that occupy your towns, for example. Let's do that maybe. Like where you live in Farmingdale.
Right.
And so that would probably be the Massapequas.
Oh,
They
okay.
were from Seaford through Islip area.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Your town probably were the Merricks. And they occupied Rockville Center area through Oyster Bay.
Oh, really? Through
Yeah.
Oyster
Wow.
Bay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the 13 ones that pretty much were are
What about yours? Well, the same. That
I would
Yeah.
say the Massapequas.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, not Massapequa. Yes. Is that
No,
what
you
you
said through Islip.
Yeah, through Islip. So
Yeah.
yes. So we have Canarsies. which were
Brooklyn?
occupying Brooklyn through maybe Jamaica.
Yeah.
Right.
That's interesting.
The Rockaways, which were
okay.
Rockville Center-ish through Jamaica, so the
Right,
opposite way.
right.
Then you have the Merrick, which I talked about, Rockville Center through Oyster Bay, the Upper West, Massapequa, as I mentioned. The Matinacocks, which were the North Shore
Oh, okay,
primarily,
okay.
Flushing all the way through to Smithtown.
Okay, like Mattatuck around there.
And then, yes, and then Setaucus, which you mentioned. That was more like the Stony Brook area, Wading River, you know.
Okay.
You had the Nissaquags, which were Smithtown
Okay.
through Stony Brook. The Corchags, which were Wading River through Orion Point. The
It's a town, Cutchog.
yes, no, but it's spelled differently. It's spelled Corchaga.
Yeah, it might be based on
It
it.
could
like,
be.
There's so many Indian names, like Syosset is an Indian
Right.
name too.
Something. And
Yeah.
then there's Uncachogs, which were Patchogue through West Hampton. The Shinnecocks, which
Uh-huh,
they do
okay,
have a resident.
yeah.
West Hampton through East Hampton. Montaukets, which you could
Uh-huh,
expect
okay.
would be East Hampton through the Tips and Gardiner's Island. And then the Manhansets, which were Shelter Island, Hog Island, and Ram Island.
Okay.
So those
Now,
were the
how
big
come like kids on Long Island don't learn about these? And not only Long Island, also
And they should.
in this metropolitan area.
They should, because these indigenous peoples were here about 12,000 years,
Right.
Wow.
and lived mostly on this land undisturbed. It was really,
Yeah.
like just living off them mostly. They
Must
would
have
be
been so
hunting,
wonderful.
fishing, gathering, nuts, plants. They did
Right.
have an
Yeah.
agricultural phase as well, but they not to the extent that
They cleared all
they
the land.
cleared all the trees, all the land in the way that we did it. They even had domesticated dogs. Evidence
Wow.
shows
Oh,
in
really?
around the 17th century.
Wow.
They
I
found
like
evidence
that,
of that. So it just kind of got me thinking. And as you know, the Shinnecocks, I try to go every year to the festival that they had.
Oh,
In the
yeah.
summertime, usually in August. I couldn't make it last year.
Yeah.
We were away. But in 2010, they received federal recognition as a tribe finally,
Oh, okay.
which makes them eligible to start building a casino on there now.
Oh, okay.
wow.
So they're located in Southampton, right? So in a reservation is approximately about 1.3 miles long. And
Now, is this something that people are protesting though? Is that something, the casino? I feel like I heard
it
some.
probably will be, but I
Yeah.
mean they're a reservation, and so
Right.
they're under
that's right. You can
federal
protest
protection
all you want.
want,
That's right.
And in 2020, the census there were about 819 people in that
Really?
reservation.
Wow.
Right? At one point, I think the highest was like in the 1600s. They had over a couple thousand, I would think. So they stem from the Shinnecocks stem from the Pequot and Narragansetts, which are more Connecticut and northern areas. They traditionally spoke Algonquin. All right. And the legend has it that their origin story, because every group has an origin story, but their origin story is that they were the human children of the goddess from the sky, and this goddess was was the original one in this origin story who came and walked on the turtle, the great turtle, and, and created the land.
Yes,
and from her fingertips shot out deer. She was the one that made the bears growl and the wolves
wow.
onto the land, right? She filled the sky with birds, and so the Shinnecock appeared from her as on the shore. The people, that's what it means, people of the shore. So they came from the shore and from this great goddess. That's their origin story.
Okay. Oh.
And so, I thought that was very interesting. I learned a little bit too about our history. And have you ever heard about Governor Keefe's War?
No.
Kiefts. I haven't heard it either. And this occurred from 1640 to 1645. It was a conflict between New Netherland and the Lenape Indians, which occupied New York and New Jersey. So the Lenape, which probably, connection all throughout. There was a lot of conflict building because as more white settlers came, a lot of more encroachments were happening, a lot of disagreements. They would trade, the Indians would trade for things, white people would trade with the Indians, and because of the communication level, they would trade for land.
Yeah.
But the Native Americans felt that because you can't ever own land, so they thought they were leasing the land, and the white people thought they were owning the land.
Yeah.
And so then when the farmers would come with all their cattle, let them go everywhere, they would go all into the areas that were occupied by Native Americans, eat their crops, so the little barn, and it was brewing a lot of conflict, and the local people did not want it to escalate, but he was just so upset, he just really wanted to get rid of them. So without orders, going against the union, going against the people of the town, he attacked and killed. He kills about 1,600 people, including children, over the course of about a couple of years when this all started.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And I never heard of that.
He was the governor of New York?
No, he was, Governor Keith Swore, governor of New Amsterdam.
Oh, okay,
so
that was New York City,
This was before,
right,
1776, so yeah. And I thought, we didn't learn about that.
No.
And that's a lot of, children just went in, and brutally attacked them without provocation,
right.
essentially.
Yeah.
So then, I know we're running out of time,
No,
but there was a couple of legends I looked into, and one of them, I'm sure you've heard the Lady of the Lake.
Yes,
yeah.
I never knew
That's
that
in
until recently.
Ronkonkoma.
I know.
My sisters live in Lake Ronkonkoma.
Did they ever swim there?
Well, they did clean it up, but no, it's
Okay.
been polluted for years and years and years. And
And not by
the
the
legend,
Indians.
even when I was a kid, they used to say it was the bottomless lake.
Yes.
And no, they did clean up the area, but it's they're trying to do something with it, make it like a tourist place because
There's a movie made out about it.
Yes,
It's called-
yeah.
I didn't see it though. It's the Legend of Lake Ronkonkoma. Ronkonkoma was allegedly this Indian princess,
Right, yes,
who
uh-huh.
was in
And
love
she
with
drowned, and she drowned,
purposely. She committed
Yeah,
suicide.
yeah.
She supposedly had tied a rock to her and when she ran to the middle of the lake because she wasn't allowed to marry.
That's
Right.
exactly what Virginia Woolf did, but not because she wasn't allowed to.
And she drowned, but before she did, she vowed that she would take one young man with her every year until in revenge for not being able to marry.
Yeah.
The legend was that the guy she was in love with, ended up committing suicide too.
So she took him.
But there have been in the 200 years since, they say there's been a drowning every year.
Wow.
Oh.
A man or
That I couldn't find definitive. Been women to know. I think I said females.
I don't think most people swim in that.
But there was a lot where they say it's bottomless. Like they suspect there's also hidden caverns in there because bodies of people who have gone missing from the lake have ended up washing ashore in Connecticut or been drifting out in the Sound.
Oh wow.
So they find that they do think there might be some hidden cavern where people get stuck, and some people who were escaped drowning have reported being pulled into the middle of the lake, but were able to get out, and they don't know by what.
James Cameron, you have someone else to do it. You need to go.
So
do some
anyway,
research.
that was some of the research. I know there's a lot, and I don't do it justice. I'm not an expert, and there was a lot trying to decipher between what was true because a lot of this history was written by Anglo-Saxons.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
So, but I just thought that something we should know more about.
Well, where I grew
You'd
up,
be curious to see what they learn in the Indian schools, like on the reservation.
oh, that's a good point.
Well, that made me look to see I should go to the Shinnecock Reservation because you're right, and it's closed for the season. But I'm thinking I'm going to go because I really would like to. I just hate driving out to the Hamptons in the good weather.
Yeah, I know.
that's
I know.
the hard part.
But I think it would be worth a trip.
Well, I had an uncle who was full Indian,
That's right.
And he lived in Messina, and I want to say it was the Iroquois, but I don't know if that's I'm not sure if that was the reservation up there. But my town I grew up in was Cherubusco.
Yes.
That was an Indian name, and initially, how they made it, they said it was CHEUR for the cherub, for angels.
Yeah.
And it means place of angels, but it was an Indian name, and that was always, my mother always said, it's an Indian name, and she was always so proud of that. And, we just, but we didn't really learn a lot. Like, we did go to the museum and the reservation in Messina, near the St. Lawrence Seaway, the locks and everything, and we always bought the little bracelets and the little beads, beaded, those kind of things, but That's as much as I was taught, really, and you can't even say I was taught, really,
Yeah.
about the Indians.
I know, I mean, really, and growing up in the 50s and the 60s, there was a lot of westerns on
Yes,
TV.
exactly.
And it was always like the Indians were
Yeah.
always portrayed as the bad
The bad
guys,
guys.
you know, and being slaughtered by the white people.
Oh, I'm gonna scalp
And,
you, and
I know. So, if you ever get a chance, there's a very good series on. I think there's three seasons, maybe more, maybe 5. I'm not sure, but it's called The Res. It's
Oh.
such a good show.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix, but I could be wrong. But if you Google it, it's
The
just The Res.
R.E.S.?
R-E-Z.
Oh.
And is about they're in Oklahoma, and it's a reservation there, and the whole series revolves around this group of teenagers
Oh, I
that
think you
live on
told
this.
me about
It's
them.
such a good show.
I gotta check that
Yeah,
out.
check it out, and the
sounds up my
girls would
alley.
like it too.
Yeah, that sounds right up
It's
my
a
alley.
very, very good show, and you should check it out.
Oh, thanks for the
Okay, this
recommendation.
is not this is not the description of it, because it's saying it's a Canadian drama, Canadian drama television series, which aired.
Maybe it's a remake.
Maybe in Canada they did it.
Is that, oh wait, maybe it is that.
Yeah, this is it.
Okay, so
I guess it's a Canadian show.
but I don't know where it airs. I'm just trying to find.
No, these are different actors. So
I
that's
bet
not
you
it.
they did a remake, because that happens a lot, where they'll
Yeah.
do remakes of something.
Maybe it is R-E-S.
All right, let me see. R-E-S.
We'll find it, don't you worry.
I just wanted to share.
Yeah, it's on Netflix or Hulu. I'm not
What
sure. I
else
never
do you-
know what I'm always saying, oh God, I'm watching this show. Which streaming service is it on?
You know what I've gotten to do? When I see something that's gonna be coming out or whatever, I have a notepad. I
Uh-huh.
write the name of the show, when it's supposed to come out, and where it's.
I did that months ago. I said, okay, I'm going to write it down, and then the paper ends up in the garbage.
She's got all these papers.
I do. I have all
Stuffing them
these
here
little,
and there.
because every time I have a piece of paper and the back of it is blank, I tear it into 4s,
right.
and I have a whole pile of these. I have them in my desk. I have them on my table.
I'm similar, except mine are all little notebooks, so I like start one notebook and say, and then I have
Oh God, I have so many notebooks that have 2 pages, and then I went on to the next one. And I just wanted to, I had sent you that article about, that I saw on the, I think it was history.com,
yes,
about the
and I
War of
did read it.
1812.
Yes.
And that was pretty interesting. I
Yes.
never got to finish the article, but it was how the how the indigenous people took the side of the British in the War of 1812, because they
Yes.
needed military might behind them,
That's
because
right.
we were encroaching on their land and slaughtering their people.
Absolutely.
So they were very sad that the Americans won.
It was very timely you sent me that article, because that was
Yeah.
covered in a book that I'm reading. 10 more pages left to go.
Yeah.
Democracy Awakening, and
Yeah,
she mentions that in the book. And I was like, oh yeah, Peggy sent me an article
Yeah.
on this. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I like that our 2 had to do with American Indians, and Native
I know
American
that was
Indians.
actually
and
timely.
Yes, absolutely, but let us know what you think, and
Yes.
subscribe. We'd love to have you
Absolutely.
subscribe.
Happy November, everybody.
Yes, no.
Say goodbye.
Bye, number 48, 58, 58.
We're not going backwards.
I know.
Bye.